Jenny in the house.
Yay!
Who's in there?
Good evening, Melrosians the world over, especially little Teddy out in the audience and Jenny in the house.
Jenny in the house. Big love going out to Jenny in the house.
I am Tom Catalini.
I'm Jen LeClaire.
I'm Sam.
I'm Tom Shampoo. Jen LeClaire is still catching her breath, by the way.
Oh my God.
Yes, she just ran in.
I just came directly from class. In fact, I ditched my last class early to be with you guys. I was hoping to time it a little bit more dramatically so that I came in right when it was my turn to say my name.
Now you were close.
I know.
You were close. Well, listen, this is Let's Talk Melrose, a show where Melrosians talk to Melrosians about Melrose. And what's up? Holla from Bartlett. Holla back at you, Bartlett, and little Teddy and everybody over there. Boy, there's so much going on in town. So we have not been on the air for 2 weeks, which seems like 2 years. And there's just there's so much going on. So first of all, baby Karaji Kid Jr., or what are we calling him? Little Karaji Kid?
Karaji Kid. Love that.
Congratulations.
How about the Karaji Kiddo?
Karaji Kiddo. So congratulations to the Karaji family who is expecting a baby boy, announced on social media and trending on all the platforms over the course of the week. And speaking of the social media platforms, nobody has his finger on the pulse like Tom Shampoo of just what is happening in cyberspace as well as the real world.
You know what? I was thinking that it must be the effects of the pink supermoon we had last night. Right? I don't know what's going on out there. Things are warming up, but I feel like outside, but I feel like things are heating up on social media. I just feel like people need to chill a little bit and relax. The city's doing what we're doing, and it's a great city, and we should just remember that we're all working for the same stuff for the same reason. But we've seen like complaints about liquor being served at Mount Hood. There's complaints going around about what to do on the Fellsway Road. You know, do we keep it open? Do we close it for a couple of hours for the kiddos? There's also parklets back out on Main Street. Yeah, I love the parklet, but there's also people online saying, the parklet takes up 2 parking spaces. It just feels like everyone's complaining about stuff that's happening. And I just want everyone to relax and chill. That's all. So yeah, help me out here.
So some days, I think you're right, Tom. Some days it feels like you could walk around handing out $100 bills and people would complain that they didn't get 520s instead.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? Like,
I mean, there was one that I saw today. Again, you know, the mural on the Y. There's a new mural that was painted up there. I think globally, act locally, kind of thing. It's very nice and lovely. And somebody said, "Oh, I missed the butterfly. I liked it better." Like, come on, people. So let's just chill and relax. That's all.
Listen, enjoy the butterfly while it's here. And when it's time to move on, change with the times.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I don't know if it's about change because I disagree with everything you just said.
Yes. Now we have a show.
There we go.
Sam has a complaint to file.
I have a list. I started a memo, you guys. I'm not going to totally disagree on the air like I did out my window here to you, but I feel like there are a lot of things happen. I love change. You know me. I love change. I love when things progress. And I just think there are some things we could just align, engage, include. You know, there's just extra tweaks. But this is the second time in the last 3 days by 2 different Toms have told me I'm being too negative. So
was I the other one?
Yes.
I don't even know that's not in my nature to be negative.
I can't see Tom doing that.
Okay, so you're saying people feel well, that I'll take. So you're saying, Sam, that people just feel unincluded. They're not necessarily opposed.
Well, I don't know about people, but I think, things happen. We talked about this before. Things just happen without notice, or things just happen with little notice, or there's little inclusion, or there's little foresight, so I think, again, I've been following the mural I think other people were surprised, or I've been following about Phil's way, but I think people just want to seem, you can't always over communicate all of these things.
So listen, I'm not following any of it, but the mayor calls me while I'm on vacation and he says, we're closing down Lynn Fells for 2 hours on Sunday. So that's the first I heard of it. I don't know why he's calling my cell phone, but all right, I'll take it. But I listen and I go, I knew nothing about this, but sounds good. I'm in. I mean, what's there? I don't need a lot of advance notice for some of these things.
Yeah.
You know.
And you don't know until you know. So I feel like when someone tells you it's happening, what do you, not you, Sam, but what's the complaint? They've
Why
told
didn't you
it's
tell me
happening.
yesterday?
Yeah. Why do I not know until now? Because that's when the email went out. I just want people to relax. I feel like it's easy to say this is wrong. This is not the way it should be, or this is wrong. Again, I like the butterfly better. It's just an opinion. So I'm not sure how helpful it is.
I think it just makes people feel like they don't have power. They're not included. They don't have a say in the community. So I think just giving people an option to get involved. We got a lot of things flying around that are just happening.
People also have a lot of options they don't take advantage of. In fairness.
Jenny.
But there's two things.
Jenny's asleep at the switch tonight.
No, I'm listening. I'm waiting.
2 things. There's knowledge, which is I know it's happening, and there's power, which is I want to decide it's going to happen. And that's different. And I don't want 28,000 people to decide where to close the street. That's never going to happen. Everyone's going to have a different opinion, and it's just a bad idea to say everybody weighing in which street we should close. So I feel like telling people it's going to happen is great. That's, to me, I'm okay with that. That's all. That's me. I'm only one person.
But I do love closing the street. I'm not opposed to closing the street. I would love to see a street closed much more frequently all of the time.
Yeah, sure.
And it wouldn't necessarily be that one, but I love this concept. Let's just do it. Let's do it often.
See how it goes.
So apparently we've got a viewer, Ellen Stewart, who's telling us about a water main break, and I'm verifying this on Twitter right now near Lynn Fells Parkway.
We also got texted from Matt Dugan, breaking news. Major water main break.
Water main break.
Cars and lacrosse players.
So those of you,
breaking news here.
Listen, those of you watching live from your car right now, be careful in the Lynn Fells area. All right, we have to move on to the news.
Yes.
Because there's so much happening in town. The big news today at the state level. COVID restrictions being relaxed effective April 30th. Generally went outside and socially distanced, not wearing face coverings. I had seen some doctors talk about this. You know, if you're out jogging alone, riding your bike, the science proves that that's okay. Starting May 10th, amusement parks, outdoor water parks can reopen at 50% capacity for everybody that goes to water parks in Massachusetts in May. That is good news.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck with that. Road races and other athletic events. So who knows? I don't know what's happening with the Mother's Day race in Melrose. Maybe that'll suddenly come back.
Oh, damn it.
Now we got to start training.
Let's just wait on that one. No, I'm just kidding. People really enjoy that one. I always feel peer pressure to walk or crawl that one, but it is a great event. One of the things, I don't see it in our notes here now, but one of the things that was in the memo was something about ball pits can reopen, and
that's the last thing. That's not till August, Jen.
Okay, thank God.
That's not a good idea.
Let's just wait. Let's just wait on that one for a while or forever.
Outlawed.
Yeah. So gross.
Oh, those are those like for kids. Those are the places where you jump. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
I was confused momentarily.
So a lot of gathering limits being relaxed and other things, street festivals, parades allowed at 50% capacity, whatever that means. But basically by August 1st, if we keep tracking with vaccines and infection rates in the right way, by August 1st, everything's kind of relaxed. And then also the state is mandating public high school students return full-time by May 17th, high school level.
I think just to add to that, August 1st, I think to me, the real news is that businesses can open fully by August 1st. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they can then return to full business.
Okay. So listen, when are we going back into the studio?
That's exactly right.
Look out, Mike Miner. Here we come. Pat, Mike Miner, we're coming in.
Yes,
that's right.
Let this serve as notice. No later than August 1. We are all up in.
What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do without our fancy name tags and things like that, and our ticker tape?
We'll figure something out. Hey, did anybody do any of the Earth Week stuff?
The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Oh wow, you're really down on Earth Week.
No.
My daughter, we sent Martin.
I intended to, but I didn't do it.
Know. There's going to be another fight. Tom Shampoo is anti-Earth Week.
No. I meant I intended to, but I didn't. So it's on me. That's all. I love Earth Week. I think it's fantastic.
We sent one representative Martin family member, Rosalie, helped with the Keep Melrose Beautiful with the cleanup efforts.
Well, I'm going to put the link to opt up and choose 100% renewable energy for my house. There's a link to sign up.
Yep.
The hardest part is actually finding a National Grid bill. And there's an incremental cost to paying for your home to just get 100% fully renewable energy. Residential.
What does that mean? I mean, like, what does that mean I have to do at my house? Can you explain it to people?
What do you have to do at your house?
Well,
how do you do it?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking? Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a link I'm going to put in the, that I'm going to share on Facebook, where you just literally sign up with your National Grid account information, and you're consenting to paying incremental cost for your home energy use to be 100% fully renewable.
Oh, I see. Okay.
There's options to be partially and also 100% fully renewable. So folks have options.
And I heard that in June we'll be seeing what the city's net zero plan is, which will be really exciting. So we'll have on some of our city staff to come and talk about that.
Net zero 2050.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, awesome.
And also,
you know how we can celebrate that? How might we be able to celebrate that? No?
Anyone? Earth Week?
Well, I'm gonna stop in. I'm gonna stop in at Buckaloo and buy myself a bottle of something.
The first license for hard booze. I am drinking Manhattan in honor of this news today. Buckaloo's is announced first in the city to get the hard booze license, and I think I saw on one of the liquor commission is meeting at some point this week, and I think. What's the place across the street is also
Beacon Hill.
Beacon Hill is also applying for that license.
I thought they were. That's great.
Which is nice. So that's good to see.
Yeah.
Congrats. Oh, okay. So I'm sorry, I'm doing too many things. So there is a group in Melrose also called Engaging Parents in Conversation for parents of or caregivers of students or children that are LGBTQIA+. They're having another meeting April 28th, which is tomorrow evening. So if you're interested and you're a parent who would like to meet and speak with other parents on these issues, please come. Jeff Perotti will be the guest, and he's the program director of the Massachusetts State Schools Initiative for LGBTQ students. So ask your questions and see how to get involved. But it's a great organization that does very little promotion, so I wanted to at least put it out there.
So LGBTQ, I think I'm familiar with. What's IA+? If you don't know, that's all right. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I just
asexual,
inquiring or something, or is that right? No, it's not right.
But it's something beyond. Like, but the plus is beyond.
The plus is whatever else.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
All of the things.
Inclusive.
Inclusivity. I for inclusivity. That's not what what it means.
We need others who know more than we do, apparently.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's another thing. This is also new, coming soon to Main Street in the old in the old Demici's location. It's called Biddy and Beau's Coffee Shop. Am I saying it correctly?
Yep, yes.
And it's so another coffee shop, which is going to be great. I feel like Main Street is starting to kind of come alive even more, which I love. But it's a franchise, but their business model is really wonderful because they employ differently abled baristas and employees to run the shop. So
and I did confirm that it's a Melrosian that is opening this franchise. So we will have her come on. I would love to have her come on and talk about it.
That would be great. Well, let's do that in the studio when we're back in the studio, and we can all have coffee.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so it's a franchise, because I read about the original store. A couple had 2 children with Down syndrome, and then they wanted to have a pathway for them to have, productive contribution, hold a job, like learn those kinds of skills. And I guess it's taken off, been very well received and successful, and they're opening up all over the place. I think there's only a handful I saw on the website. So it's cool that like early on in this process, like Melrose has landed. So I didn't realize it was a franchise, I guess. So it's a Melrosian starting it. That's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good news. And we'll see that opening hopefully soon. And that'll be great. Everyone's looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Can never have enough coffee.
Right.
Speaking of coffee, the spring musical Wizard of Oz is happening this weekend. So I put in.
Right.
It has nothing to do with it. I'm not good. I'm not like Tom with the transitions, but I put in the link to get tickets.
Nice.
Yep, Wizard of Oz. Nobody beats the Wiz.
Well, Dorothy liked the coffee, I think.
I hope
It kept her up at night and caused all these crazy dreams.
Yeah,
I hope that
Actually,
they're.
I was watching Judy Garland last night in the second iteration of A Star Is Born. You know,
There are like
the
5
Lady
or something.
there's like 5 of them. Anyway.
Yeah, right. I hope they take artistic liberty, and instead of the famous line, "There's no place like home, there's no place like home," I hope they say, "There's no place like Melrose, there's no place like Melrose."
Oh, of course.
That would be
That's
just
the way to
bring
do
it home. Bring it
Nice.
home, Melrose drama.
Yeah. Did we, speaking of drama, it's electric, right? Drama is electric. Do we mention the EV thing yet or no?
No,
I
no,
feel like
you
it-
got a photo of
right?
that? We're their first, other
Boom,
than
look at us. There's a
Elevated.
photo of electric. I was excited to show the photograph. This is pretty big news, I think. I'm excited about it. Again, so Melrose is celebrating its 10th year as a green community. So yes, I feel good about that. I think everyone else does too, hopefully. But this was just launched. I think the mayor and others were there. Martha Grover was there as well to announce the installation and the dedication of this electric vehicle charging station that's like 10 feet high off of a telephone pole, basically. So it draws power right from there. And then it's an app on your phone that you use to punch in, and it lowers the charging cord down, and you can
Ooh.
charge your car. It's kind of cool. So that's the first. So here it is again.
that sounds like a waste of electricity to lower that thing down.
It's a telephone pole. I mean, so anyway. So the good news is it's the first one. It's over at Mount Hood, I believe, is where that is. But there are 9 others slated to open up. It's a partnership with National Grid and others. And again, thanks to Martha Grover and the mayor and others for getting this up. And again, I think it's fantastic for us to be moving toward this net zero 2050. And it's one visible way to see the change.
There's parts of it I don't get. Like I'm driving to Mount Hood to charge my car, and like, does it cost money? Do we know any of those details?
That's a great question. I don't have that answer, Tom. But that's
Stop
a good
asking questions.
question. I know.
that we can't.
It only
Where's that
it only
ticketing
highlights
thing that says
ignorance.
this may or may not contain facts? We need. Where's that?
Right.
Where's
I'll
that
put it
ticker?
up.
Your questions only highlight my ignorance. That's
we-
going to be a T-shirt.
Yeah. Do we know why Mount Hood? That's interesting. I didn't realize that's where it was. That's interesting.
Well, I mean,
believe
if you're gonna go up there and golf for 4 or 5 hours, and you're certainly not drinking while you're golfing up at Mount Hood right now, so you can drive. You can drive away afterwards, so there's no issue there.
Right.
Oh, maybe too. I don't know how they the little electric golf carts too. I don't know how they.
Yeah. Oh,
geez,
and then one more piece. I'm sorry, Tom.
Can you
breaking
guys hear
news?
that ringing?
Yeah.
Are you going to take
You know
that
what it
call
is?
on the show?
It's an alert from the mayor.
I have an alert too. It just came in the mayor's office about the
Oh, I
water
thought he
main
was. I thought he was calling us. I thought we
I
had
should
a
have let it
live
go
caller.
live. Right? No, it's one of those
water
alerts.
main break impacting LTMM. That's what it's saying right now.
Stay home. Watch the news. Wait, let me back up now.
Okay.
So some of these questions get quite tricky, and they're the kind of thing you might take to the city solicitor. However, our city solicitor, Rob Van Kampen, is leaving after many years. Is it something like 17 years?
14 years?
In office. 14
Oh, wow.
years. So he announced his departure coming up. So in addition to the health director and some other positions, our city solicitor is leaving. City solicitor and deputy mayor, which I'm a little bit curious about because I don't really understand what the deputy mayor is. I don't think that's in the charter. I don't really understand what that position is and how that plays out. But it's just interesting to see another senior member of the staff planning to depart.
Yeah.
Well, I think if there are 4 positions open, we can certainly go in and.
What are the other 2? Or
I don't
should
know.
I
I'm
stop
just saying.
asking questions? I'll tell you who had a lot of questions were the neighbors on on what's
Montvale
Montvale, thank you.
Whatever,
On Montvale
Montvale.
Street, not confused with Montvale Ave.
Right.
So
Montvale
Mike
Ave is
Karaji put
a
it out
different
there in
city.
the news quite eloquently when he said a rocky slope that was unbuildable was sold. Now somebody wants to build it. So I watched part of this meeting of the planning board last night, and a guy bought a piece of land for $17,000 in Melrose. It's next to conservation land on a little tiny dead end street, and it's pretty tight over there. I was looking on Google Maps and all that stuff and listening to part of the meeting. But he wants to build on it. So it's something that everybody thought was unbuildable. It recently changed hands. All of a sudden, he wants to build on it, and it is causing quite a stir. Tom, I think you have an artist rendering of yes. So
I
there
didn't
it
make
is.
it. I just exactly.
It varies slightly from the Victorian tradition of many, but it's generally,
more or less.
Generally fits the genre, I would say.
Yeah.
I would say
Very modest.
good thing we don't live in. Good thing this is not California.
I was gonna say it's a California-looking house. Yeah.
Well,
I'm
also,
not sure how I feel.
knocked
It's.
it down.
I guess I feel like it's one of those things that I was saying about earlier in the show, that the neighbors have the right to complain, and there's a charter or there's laws in place and regulations around that slope. And so I'm not going to say what's right or wrong about it. I'm not sure how I feel about this, but it is a story that was in the news, and I'm curious to see where this goes.
So I listened into a little bit of the meeting. It sounds like the neighbors were caught off guard. It's a tight-knit little group. It's a tight street. One of them made many of them made a passion plea, and one of them said, just because you can do it. So the builder is pointing out all the ways he can make this work. But the gentleman who was a neighbor said, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. So I think they feel very caught off guard. I don't know how if they voted to kill it last night or continue the meeting. I guess it's been continued a couple of times, but it was quite a hot topic, and there's more to come. When you talk about these planning boards, and they were debating the slope law you're talking about, there's actually a law governing what you can and can't do with sloped land in Melrose, and he was working in that within the bounds of that, or at least that was his argument. So it just goes to show you all these little things that get put into place matter in the long run.
Right.
And so we wanted to alert the viewers, Jen, that there's a meeting coming up this week, a joint meeting of the City Council and the Planning Board on Thursday about incentive zoning. So they're really talking about changing some of the zoning laws, which opens up possibilities. And I think with that, maybe, who knows, maybe there's additional risk of something else undesirable happening, or that somebody will object to the future, or as Tom Shampoo would argue, somebody's going to object to anything you do. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
One way or the other.
So
I'm sorry, Jen, I think Jen had a point.
No, but I know we really want to talk about incentives zoning, but I just had a quick question that I'm not sure you were able to understand or discover in that meeting. Like the various plots of land that are all the various parcels of land in Melrose. Like I guess I don't understand why there's a question about whether or not it's developable. Like isn't that something that's sort of decided? Like it either is like parcels are set out as yes you can or no you cannot build on this. Like I'm not sure why.
I don't think it's
a question, because it sure would be helpful if it was like yes or no.
I don't think it's yes or no. I think you can build if you can have X amount of frontage and this and that and not interfere with the slope. So if you can comply with all of those various requirements, then you can build. But he's got 7,700 square feet of land that's on a slope that everybody thought was unbuildable. As a matter of fact, people were arguing it was listed for sale as unbuildable property. And the guy, finds a way to comply with all of the requirements, or maybe he's asking the planning board for some kind of variance in this case.
Gotcha.
So all of those details matter. So it is not yes or no. You have to comply. And then those rules get written and rewritten and adjusted over time, which is exactly what's on the agenda Thursday night at the joint meeting of the City Council and the Planning Board, where they're talking about incentive zoning, which Sam is prepared to summarize for us tonight. Exactly what's on the agenda.
That is so true. Wait, let me put the news thing back up. This is not news. So I did use a little bit of paper and some highlighter to I read as thoroughly as possible on incentive zoning. And I think incentive zoning refers to a means of zoning which provides an incentive, such as relaxation of zoning restrictions, is offered to a developer in exchange for providing benefits to the community's interest. So basically what we were talking about earlier, there are two areas within the city that the zoning would like to, this is coming from the zoning, the planning board chairperson, and just use a ward who we would love to have on the show. And there are some areas of Melrose where they're going to shift the zone. They like to shift the zoning regulations a little bit to and relax a little bit of the what is allowed. Why are you having me do this now?
Well, listen, I think
but it's interesting because I think this is something that is not. They say it's not necessarily new to Melrose, but it seemingly is a little bit newer. That we can ask developers to do a little bit more in order for them to get a little bit more in return.
Yeah,
so
I think we're just trying to get it out there so that people who are interested in the details can go to the meeting on Thursday. So we didn't expect you to summarize it, but at a high level, it is changing some of the rules so that people don't have to ask to be made an exception or a variance, a special permission. So one of the examples, if we could put up the graph of one of the zones we're talking about down by MMTV, one of the things on the table is to change the zoning of this particular block. It's coming soon. Here it is. So you see where the dotted line is in the middle of that graph. Well, that right now is in the zone we call BA1. I don't know what that stands for. And they're looking to change it to BA2, like that adjacent little brown patch there.
A darker brown, right?
And what that means is you could put a 5-story building instead of being limited to 4 stories. And there are certain other things that would already be, in effect, pre-approved. So the MMTV building, I think, is going to be redeveloped. And if one of the features is to have 5 stories instead of 4 in the replacement building, they have to now get a variance. So if I have to go ask for a variance, there's a chance I might not get it. So if it's just baked into the plan, then you can get it. And then some of the incentives, I think, are like you relax the 5% green space requirement if you can provide something like a rooftop garden or something that offsets it.
Which they're planning for, right?
Yeah.
So it gives you more flexibility and less risk going into it. But essentially for Melrose, you're taking that district we just had up there and you're zoning it to be a little bit more mixed use. And then the other zone, which was up by Caruso's, is zoned for medical, and you can have like an 8-story building with a very far setback and stuff that's just not going to happen. That was maybe originally visioned X decades ago. And they're rezoning that to be more, I think, the BA1, which is more like a downtown district. Yeah, that one there in the dotted line. So you can kind of see that area it's basically trying to make that area a little bit more like downtown rather than the medical, like the hospital district, because it just didn't play out that way. So instead of an extension of that campus, it's more of an extension of downtown. And the other one is more of rather than having it more downtown, it's having it more like mixed use. That's my read of it. But if you want to know, go to the meeting on Thursday and check it out.
So when I taught Catalini all of the words he just said earlier before the show started, we were looking at this map, and it's fascinating that in this area, I don't know if anybody's ever walked this, but it's
which inside the dotted line.
Inside the dotted line, we talked about it's like looking at the mobile station down Grove Street West to the cleaners, and there's a parking lot there. There's a parking lot next door.
Yes.
So I think this is for this particular area, and also for the other one, I think this is a great opportunity for Melrose to finally start like maybe moving some of these developments forward. I would rather walk past a 4 or 5-story residential building with retail at the bottom that I can actually walk into and not eat pizza or nails. But I think this is a great opportunity to help incentivize developers to start coming into Melrose and start building here. And
part of that is less parking spaces would be required. For the sort of smart zone. So rather than a parking lot, that makes it, I think, a little bit more attractive to a developer. And the other thing, when we study the details, Sam astutely pointed out that trackside is in the BA2 zone already, which means we could have an 8-story high or a 5-story high trackside already I don't know why this hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
but,
with a roof deck, with a roof deck,
roof
for
deck.
Right,
diners.
with the rooftop breakfast beer garden. There
So
you
many
go.
omelets.
Yeah,
So many
in
omelets.
a full bar and an ice cream window.
That's right. That's right. Right.
Well,
But I just
listen-
wanted. Oh, can I just add one other thing before we
Yeah.
move on?
Yes.
So one other thing is, with all of the potential opportunity for extra development and more residential and more retail, it's a good time to plan some business and economic development.
Yeah.
So really recruiting developers and recruiting businesses, new industries to come to Melrose to open up in these new developments. This is the time to
Yeah.
start doing that.
And really create the walkable retail shopping downtown that is possible. I mean, when you see, that people are trying to build and emulate downtowns elsewhere, like at Linfield Market and stuff like that. When you actually have a downtown that can do that. I mean, I know we've heard people say like, "Oh, the market doesn't bear it. The market doesn't bear it," for a bookstore or some of these other things. But there's a tipping point at which then when you draw enough of those kinds of businesses so that it is a walkable, fun shopping thing. There's a tipping point, so then it really does. The market does bear it. So you have to help get there, or you can help get there.
And we have an opportunity to increase the length of that walking Main Street district as well. So people can walk further down toward El Pond or further down the other way, south toward Dunkin' Donuts and all that. So if you have reasons to go there.
Or to any one of the various CVSs that will be.
Two more CVSs on the other side.
Or Mexican places. Or
I mean, pretty soon
nails
we'll
or
be on the
pizza.
map, the most CVSs per capita of any New England town.
I think we should go for a
on
world
Main
record.
Street. So Green Street Pharmacy apparently was bought out by CVS. That was the unconfirmed rumor or angry letter to the editor or something like that. But listen, Jen, you articulated a vision for the future of Melrose that is quite compelling. And I wanted you to know that you can pull papers starting soon to run for office. This is an election year. 2021 is an election year starting Monday, May 3rd, this next Monday, until Friday, September 10th. There are going to be 3 members of the school committee are to be chosen from the qualified voters of the entire city for 4 years. So what are there? There's like 7 people. So there's 6 elected and the mayor. So half are switching on the school committee. So everybody that's all angry about the school committee, now's your chance to go and show them how it's done and see how much fun it is. There are 4 counselors at large chosen by voters. Again, of the, I think it's 11 city councilors, 4 are at large. I think there's 7 from one from each ward, and then the 4 at large. And I guess they're all up for election this year. And last time around we had, all
those
at
are
once.
2-year terms.
Unlike
oh my gosh, it feels like it's gone by so fast.
So do we run as 4 people or do we run as one LTMM?
Can we run collectively? Exactly.
I think we can. I think we could run collectively.
Any one of us can show up at a meeting.
Sounds good.
Nice.
First bylaw change is there shall be sound effects at every meeting.
Nice.
I would like to make a motion.
I also have an email if you want, not now, but there's an email, an update from the DPW on the water main break. So
what is it? Breaking news.
Oh, okay.
You got a personal email from the DPW?
I got it. Dear Tom, please know.
Please tell Tom and Sam and Jen.
Please tell everyone else. This is a message from Melrose DPW, the water main break. We're experiencing problems with water pressure and discoloration citywide. The MWRA is in the process of bringing the water mains, plural, back online and reports that water should be restored within the next 2 hours. If you have discolored water, we recommend that you run the cold tap until the water runs clear. We appreciate your patience and apologize for the inconvenience. So run the cold water for a little bit. If it's discoloration, it should be fixed in 2 hours or so. And that's the update.
Okay.
Wow. Thanks to all the folks at DPW and MWRA and whoever, probably state police blocking the roads and local police. And thanks for everybody who is responding to that.
Is that in our Buy Nothing group area, Southwest, or is that?
No, that's another area. I think
I was going to say,
you're going to start hawking bottled water on $10 a bottle.
I was going to say, if you need
Price
to come
gouging.
and shower, like the Buy Nothing community will let you right
We'll
in.
let you. Yeah.
All right, we're going to we'll send Sam's address out on our email list. Anybody who
For
needs
showers.
a hot
Needs
shower,
to take a shower.
slice of bread and butter. We'll take care of you over there.
Just don't try the milk.
Yes. I don't know what that
I don't
means,
know that
but,
story either,
but
but-
it means it's time to go. All right, we will
We
see
did
you
it.
around
There
town.
was so much.
Perfect.
Wow.